on, everyone? Welcome back to VCT Americas. We're getting ready for our matchup. G2 Esports going up against Cloud9. We do want to let y'all know who are watching at home as well as in the venue. A little bit of a tech delay, as you can probably imagine, so we're going to be getting that resolved. Once that is resolved, we'll be jumping straight to the game, so you don't have to worry. But for now, hang out with us, right? You know?
Yeah.
We like you. We want you to
come on over.
Come on, water's warm.
We got room on the desk.
We got cookies. You know?
No, we don't.
Mimi don't know how to bake, but she tried.
I do know how to bake.
I've actually got chat right here.
I know, you were so
I'm hanging out with everybody.
You were so mad at me when I said that.
I don't bake often, but I do know. It's very simple. You just have to follow instructions.
All right, best dish you can bake right now. Go.
Best dish I can.
Best thing you can bake.
Like I could. Or
Yogurt bowl.
I have.
Sick.
I made a focaccia shaped as a frog once.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna frog shit. Now I look like ultimate frog fan. But
oh, Willie Street Co-op.
Shill.
You silly goose.
made frog shill.
Now, before we do anything though, we were talking a lot about G2, but I do kind of want to revisit the conversation just a little bit with Cloud9 here while we have a bit of time. Just because, you know, as we were talking about the new additions that they had made, people that they brought in, but one individual in particular, we had talked about him, but I want to revisit Mitch, simply because it's wild that this guy was competing for C9 2020, like years ago.
Yeah, literally.
And like it comes full circle and is right back here.
Let me give some context. I was watching those VODs last night. I was just looking back at like super old stuff.
Why?
And because it's fun. It's fun
You're
too.
just
it's
a
cool.
VOD
So
goblin, and I
they were
appreciate
playing on Bind. He was playing Sage. He was opping almost every round on Sage. The box, in short, was still tall. There was like no
Dude,
good.
that box was tall.
Yeah, there was like the observer client was incredibly jank, but he was kind of feasting with the op on Sage.
So you think he's going to be opping on stage today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 years on, for real.
That's why you watch those VODs, to find out.
Oh yeah. Phoenix mirror match on Bind. Sage, also Phoenix Jet, one of the most amazing comps. People just found out that having 7-second cloudburst was good.
Dude, this game used to be crazy.
That was so busted.
When people learn that they could just grab the snipe, shoot, and then immediately get away with it.
People thought Jet was bad on release too.
Yeah, it's wild stuff. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and have some more fun and chat more about Mitch and see what he has to say as he dives into this new Cloud9 roster and how he fits with it.
Mitch of now is more leadership. More of like a dad figure on the team, I think. We got a bunch of Zoomers running around, so I gotta, you know, whip them into shape in the server, and also, you know, give them advice, you know, out of server when they need it, and kind of just, you know, the chill guy, I guess, of the team.
Yeah, as a millennial who has to whip up a couple Zoomers, I know exactly what you're talking about there, Mitch. Here are your predictions, and across the board, we all went with G2. No one believes in Cloud9.
One of the most consistent teams of 2024 with a clear upgrade to Jojima. They should absolutely win this match, but we also thought NRG was certainly going to win the match against C9 last time.
Hey, C9 2-0 G2 the last time they faced off, so...
I will say, though, it is certainly interesting how even with C9's success, none of us believed in them at all.
Come on, this G2 roster should be gas.
But that's still crazy. They beat the team that's supposed to be number 2.
Okay, but real talk, if Zeppa is shooting like the other day and Oxy is back on form, this could actually be really competitive.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I'm most excited for, right? Can Cloud9 keep up the form, and can G2 respond in kind? Because this matchup is going to be awesome no matter how you break it down. You got G2 going up against Cloud9. So let's go ahead and bring out those teams and get this game underway.
Riot Games Arena, it's time for the final match of Kickoff Week 1. So let's get right into it and bring out your first team. Make some noise for Cloud9!
And you're hearing Locked In. Cloud9's music content creator Kala created this original walkout song for the team. Congratulations to Kala, awesome achievement, and we look forward to hearing it all throughout the season.
I'm getting with it.
I'm with it, dude. It's actually it's got some anime intro vibes to it. I'm vibing with it. It's pretty dope. I've been watching Way of the House Husband. So it's
Picking up a thing or two?
Picking up a thing or two, you know. Oh, man. But yeah, this Cloud9 team have an opportunity here to really shock everyone and get a win against the team that is considered to be the world beaters of Americas. That would be huge.
Certainly would. They beat them in the offseason, a different roster then. They've made some changes since, but already a super impressive debut for Cloud9.
Let's go ahead now and bring out their opponent.
Now, let's bring out their opponents, making their America's stage debut in 2025. Make some noise for G2 Esports!
And G2 is back with a new walkout song of their own, and this one I'm particularly hyped to talk about. This is Golden Era featuring Isaac App, good friend of mine from Rocket League, aka Turtle. Shout out to you, buddy. But yeah, G2 back with Isaac. Another walkout. We'll be hearing that all year long. Is it by the bundle, though?
That's what I'm waiting for. Okay, a little chill.
I dig it. It's a different vibe, right? Cloud9 had the anime intro, and G2 came out here with the mixtape. You know?
No cha-ching SFX, no buy the bundle yet. I'm liking it more than last year.
That's what you listen to the analyst desk for, folks. Some good old-fashioned musical breakdowns.
We're analyzing the music.
Basically the Fantanos of Valorant. In case though, get ready for this map select. See where we're going to be going here, as these teams are going to be making their choices where the battlegrounds are going to be located. I'm excited to see if we get, we're going to get some Raze maps.
Yeah,
you have Joggamon.
We've got to see it. I mean, look, when we saw C9 play before, we saw the Fracture and we saw the Lotus, right? We saw some Clove, we saw a couple Tejo maps. C9 have definitely been putting in the work this offseason.
I'm feeling like we might get some kind of Tejo mirror match here. We saw that debuted from Cloud9, both maps their first series, and I think Raze maps tend to be really good for Breach Tejo as well.
Yeah, I mean, Lotus, Split, definitely good on that one. We've seen some Tejo on Abyss as well, like even over in EMEA, we have seen like Tejo and Breach. There was a lot of crazy stuff getting locked in. But honestly, it is worth saying G2 have usually played a more controlled style of game.
Sure.
Think to their old Abyss comp that they were running initially, where it was Double Smokes, the Viper and Astra, the Killjoy as well. So I would be more surprised to see G2 playing the Tejo, playing double initiator style, because they've historically leaned into a more controlled game plan.
My fear was just seeing like basic stuff, but and there you go. From Cloud9, you're getting, that Tejo deadlock. We did see them use this before.
I really like it.
Yeah, with Tejo now coming into the meta and the Cypher nerfs, I think Deadlock and Vice are so good right now. Deadlock in particular, super strong on this map. Those post plants are potent with
Yep, and the crouch nade combos with Tejo. I think ever since the nerfs to the Pinks, hold on.
Boy,
We got a little Tejo, we got a Yorn for Jog. Wait, this is kind of sick.
Oh, people have been talking about Yoru being an absolute tank of an agent.
Yeah, no Sentinel though. They're gonna be very mindful about when those lurk timings can come in.
All right, folks, this is it. Final match of the week, Riot Games Arena. Why don't you do me a favor, make some noise.
Let's go,
As we
let's
send it
go,
over to
boys,
your
let's go.
casters. It's Uber and Wyatt on the mic.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. It's great to be back here in the Riot Games Arena for our last match of week 1 of our 2025 kickoff, and it features two teams who
Wait,
could
the last
have
match,
approached the off-season differently.
Absolutely. We have G2 coming
Monday,
in here off of a fantastic
match on the
2024.
weekend.
They were the team that ascended into the league, and as the league progressed, got better and better, qualifying for multiple international events, making it to the playoffs, deep runs in both. But they dropped Icy, the duelist they brought in last year, to add world champion Jojimo. Everyone is looking at this as a straight-up upgrade.
Protection
He's
to
one of the
danger
best
hai bhai.
duelists in the game, has been. The firepower from that man is unreal. He's on the Yoru here on Lotus, an unorthodox pick.
Come
I'm
on,
excited to
Oxy
see what he
versus
can do.
Jogamo.
It's going to be Cloud9 starting on the offense side, a team who did the opposite. They went for the sleeper picks out of challenges.
Oh boy.
And have come up already with good results here in the kickoff. Zeppa, the one to watch after the game against NRG. Lights out across both of those maps. Almost gets his lights knocked out there by that fault line, but they'll be ready to push on out here. TP out straight away. They're looking a little bit dangerous for Valent.
That wall will go up just to obscure the view, but Trent backing up, caught before he could round the corner. All of C9 gathered up, ready to explode through tree. G2 on the rotate. Do they want to try to take the fight to them, though?
They're battered net pretty low. Zeppa and Mitch, not so much. They're able to get in and make this fight, but net, yep, just going to be that anchor player. Didn't have a lot of help to work with while the rest of C9 get up and in onto that A site.
I like this. They're trying to flip the site, take control of it. Is ready for this though with the paranoia on standby. Not a moment to send it just yet.
Flash करो, flash करो, flash करो. Oh, बढ़िया flash.
To get into the site.
Super flash. पर इतना slow क्यों कर रहे हो?
Jorgamo stunned briefly. Now you got to go for it. Leaf and Jorgamo looking to group up here. Here comes the Teo util in. It's going to be back and forth. Leaf's able to get in there though. Vic trying to play around this one way to some degree. Leaf's already on the defuse. It's up to Vic here. Got to find a way through, but he's sticking it. Right clicks interrupt, but Professor P.
Wow,
gets the job done.
That was a cheeky little attempt from Vic. Played to the smallest win con he could, which was getting into the smoke itself, denying the plant. Good effort. Those waves of utility. The barrage from both teams, multiple Tejos again. This agent has defined this first week of kickoff. When you get the breach in the mix with him as well, it's so oppressive. Trying to get out into that rubble area against that initiator duo is such a nightmare.
वो स्मोक उसके लिए खराब नहीं होगी क्या? वो स्मोक आगे, वो स्मोक अगर वो A main पे यहाँ पे करता तो एंगल मिल जाता है लोगों को फाइट लेने का. वो यहाँ क्यों गया?
G2 allowed them so deep into these sites and execute again.
So you can see as an example here, the Omen, it is standard to teleport, get over back rubble. That's what Vic does. You can outpace the salvos that come in from the defensive Tejo doing so. The same if you want to have your raised satchel out there.
Oh my.
Okay.
Huh?
Jorgamo.
एक गोली भी नहीं लगा है.
On either of those outlaw shots.
The rarest of whiffs from the Dogamo.
And now the smoke comes up, so Jorg has to play inside the site alongside Trent, who pulls back from tree, but C9 diving over towards the B side of the map. There is a snake bite on the ground, but one player snuck through.
Yeah, still shouldn't be too much danger. Leaf.
He knows. I think he spots Mitch's shoulder there. It's going to be forced back. Fault line. It misses. He steps to the left and he's able to take Mitch down. Valen there has to be the next line of defense and heads are sheared clean off. Wow.
Nice round G2, nice round.
No time in regaining
G2 बहुत अच्छा है, पता है. G2 पुराना वाला G2 नहीं है. इसमें जोगमो है, जोनापी है, ट्रेन है. पहले में भी ट्रेन था क्या शायद? जोनापी और ट्रेन पहले भी था क्या?
Weapons rather into the bonus round. Looking good so far. Strong start for a
in
team
2024 this team faced off twice with G2 winning both times. Stage 1 में भी stage 2 में भी ये लोग ही जीते हैं. G2 ही जीते हैं.
Actually against Cloud9 at Red Bull home ground off season.
ये तीसरा मैच है.
Absolutely dominated.
Lost
चलो इसमें C9 जीतेगा.
9 rounds in that game. First match of the season. Immediate chance for some revenge.
It's a different C9 roster than what we had then. That was the Rossi look.
The hotly debated Rossi look into this new iteration that immediately off the jump just beat the bad Rossi allegations, at least up until this point.
Cloud9 here. Pretty slow about moving on out, but clearing those close corners as if they want to start hitting A little faster. That toxic screen though is going to allow G2 to play out from Hobbit.
Again, you can see the defenders, G2, just gathering up, ready to explode onto C9 when they try to press forward in one of those transitional moments.
अगर और उठाएगा तो स्टन मारेगा.
Rotating away is that
वो स्टन चेंज कर दिया डोर पे लाया था. क्लोज स्टन मारने के लिए ये स्टन मारने का वेट कर रहा है. ऐसा क्रॉस स्टन तो ये पिक लेगा तब. देखो ये स्टन मारेगा, नेट फेंके और पिक लेगा. देखो देखा है स्टन मारा अभी. अरे उससे पहले वो मर गया. ओह नेट. अरे वो उससे पहले मर गया वो नेट फेंकने से पहले.
And the mastermind is too far away.
Unfortunately, it takes 3 millennia to reload the outlaw. You have to be far, far away.
A literal ice age. Net here. There's no hurry. Yeah, Valen picks him up, but Net's been playing that position in the post plant constantly.
All of a sudden, we've got some real danger, and danger aside, the economic damage already dealt from G2 is pretty good. More than enough to be happy to walk away with if Valen just goes down here.
Denying 3 guns from Cloud9 on a bonus round at G2. Valen, if he can get just a little more, he'll be grinning.
Good luck, though, against the breach Teo trying to defuse a spike with the clock ticking.
There is a TP here for Valen, but won't be able to reposition now that Teo util going to come in, and Valen hasn't left himself enough time. He'll be walking away from this one here as Cloud9 get themselves on the board with this buy, but only have 2 rifles to show for it.
G2 will be content with that. They carry the Phantom over into the next round as well. What a play here from Net. Beautiful transfer onto the second leaf, trying to get the trade, but
Really living up to his name there.
it really is. Net has been a fascinating player to watch over the last couple of years. Obviously, one of the big stories coming into this game, his return to VCT Americas is an opportunity for vengeance against his old squad that replaced him in 2024. He had to fight his way through challengers to prove himself to get back here. He's been looking so good as of late.
And there's a fast push up here for Oxy now as G2 start to converge on B with 3 players. 1-3-1
Oh,
looking at the defenders now as
mar
Oxy. He's hit with a concuss. He's going to take some damage here and look into the open. Just
nice.
to be taken and Trent
Well played, man.
finds the other.
हम सोच ही रहा था वो कॉर्नर देगा तो पड़ेगा नहीं क्या हल्के
A few rifles trained on
कॉर्नर
that
कॉर्नर
choke
खेल ही नहीं
point.
सकते
If it's
इसमें
got one, he was going to go down as well. Advantage extended for G2.
What a disastrous start to the round. Net throws down the grab net. Gets in onto that seaside elite. He's going to be forced away here. He lacks backup right now and Waterfall smoked off.
Happy
Push-
to
push
just
करना पड़ेगा
retreat
Viper
his
को।
leaf. Wow,
नहीं तो
Sina,
option
they
नहीं है।
want to
We're fighting
more.
this?
They want to take this duel.
Okay, well, Leaf says, I'll have one, thank you. Yes, perhaps the wall now. That's cleared also pretty easy now. There's a chance here for G2. They're trying to push up now.
Net.
Trent finds his third of the round. Zeppa, Zap back on the site. Get ready for a spray, but Fallon puts it to bed. And already G2 starting to emerge as a very confident contender here on Lotus.
That is clinical. The Breach and the Tejo combining the utility for that free first kill, punishing Mitch, who just wanted to trade things back desperately.
ये लोगों को थोड़ा दिमाग लगा के खेलना पड़ेगा क्योंकि अगेंस्ट में ब्रीच और तेहो है ऑप्शन नहीं है
Expect G2 to really always close things out. In terms of the fundamentals, they are one of the best teams in the world.
Nice, boys. Jorgamo with 3 frags to his name already. First casualty in their previous round, but he's definitely the blunt object here for G2. Pretty classy finish there by
Oxy इतना जल्दी
the
टाइम आउट
rest
मिल
of
गया
them. Valen looked good. I'm going to say, you know, there's a lot of talk about how
Drifter
Jorg is
side
maybe
map है
coming down in pace a little bit, G2 coming up in pace to meet him. It actually doesn't feel like they're a perfect fit for each other, but rather two
नहीं
teams
डिफेंडिंग
that
साइड
value
नहीं है क्या
entities
हाँ
that
डिफेंडिंग
value
साइड
each
मैप
other
है
enough to meet in the middle.
It certainly felt that way watching them in the offseason. Things were certainly awkward at times. They played a lot of tournaments, didn't have a lot of success compared to some of the other teams in Americas, but have had a lot of time to iron things out. And Josh RT in the interview before the game said that he feels this addition, aside from just the firepower that Jorgamo brings, makes them a more dynamic unit that they can adjust the pace with a fearless duelist like him a part of the team now.
But someone who sets the pace as opposed to maybe someone who falls
ये
in line.
यहाँ पे क्या गलती किया पता है
G2 needed. Gives them the
इधर
incentive
स्टंड है नेड है इधर ये डोर खोल के चला जाता ना बाहर तो 50-60 डैमेज ही होना था बच जाना था ये इस साइड जाने का क्या सोचा पता नहीं ओपन था इस साइड
internationally before, and if he is that X factor, it could just
डोर
take
खोल के
them
उस साइड
over the
क्यों नहीं है
top. We'll have to see though. This is a strong Cloud9 team. They have to
पुश
best
आने
in
वाला है
the
स्टन का
first
साथ
match to make it into the upper semis. That has the Annihilation ready to go on this round. It is going to be an eco, but perhaps that could turn the tide.
Looking like a war zone out there with his Teho util already thrown down. Oxy commits over rubble already with a stinger. He needs to close the gap, and it might be another blast pack that gets him there, but it's been a quiet outing for him so far. And that stealth drone's going to slow down. It's just too easy for Jaw.
The rest of the Cloud9 team, they've retreated. They're trying to
Reveal
pin
कैसे कर दिया
over to
smoke out?
this site where Valen is taking contact, and he knows that he can just fall
पता नहीं
back,
smoke
play
out
this
कैसे रिवील
safe.
किया
Allow Cloud9 to come in and again just play for this man advantage, retake
वो
it
smoke का अंदर
necessary.
रिवील दिया था smoke
That
का
will
बाहर
be the
था
case.
Dimensional drift earned by Jorgamo as well after that first encounter of the round that puts Oxy out of commission. Once again, Valen not overextending for this. This wall's easily clear with that smoke in the way, and here's Valen. He gets his one. Jaw there, getting towards back halls now, and that's the wall cleared.
I do like that aggressive flash peek. C9 trying to find some kind of advantage.
He knows.
That's overextended.
Information there coming from Jorgamo. Jonah able to capitalize, and it's Trent from Waterfall. This is airtight stuff from G2. They'll put their fourth on the board.
It is fantastic. Might as well use this
Oxy-
dimensional drift.
Oxy
to
कुछ
go
नहीं कर पा रहे,
high
Oxy ऐसे मर जा रहा है।
early in the half to just lock things up in a retake
And
scenario.
he tells Jonah straight away, someone is about to swing you in halls.
Absolutely. Got that free kill onto net. Jonah getting close to the Rolling Thunder. Armageddon ready. This is an opportunity for G2
Oh, reveal नहीं वो random मारा.
I mean, yeah, I think that I'm not 100%, but did that drone only see him because it went up and just got outside of the dark cover? I think that might have been the case.
I don't even see it get pinged on his point of view.
That is
वो random मारा.
rough for Oxy.
Yeah, he's been neutralized a little bit here. I mean, Valorant is the kind of IGL that has said, I relish the opportunity to shut down star players. Puts them in trick room, you know, slows them right down.
And we've seen for Cloud9 how important Oxy has been to their success, was the critical factor of them making playoffs last year. This breakout star trying to brute force into tree past the Viper wall will get control of the area. G2, they've rotated quickly to defend this.
The Rolling Thunder going to come in, but the Annihilation is going to slow, well, you'd think, Cloud9 up. Instead, they're going to go for it anyway. Concuss does connect onto Mitch, but it's still all systems go to C9, and there's Oxy fighting his double. Mitch rolls away, knows Valorant has no choice but to take this fight, and it's an easy pickup, although Vic
Oxy is back, guys. Oxy is back.
Jonah P finds his, and now Leaf has to fight in against Oxy and Mitch in the post plant.
Oh, that was some great movement to get the kill on Zeppa, his longtime old teammate. But now, 1 versus 2, Oxy and Mitch trying to set up a crossfire. Leaf creeping upstairs, going for the flank at some point here. Oxy needs to be aware.
This has got to get
ticking.
Oxy knows. He has that awareness, but I think Leaf has managed to avoid detection. They're never going to check pit. Here's Leaf. One. Leaf masterminds! The Cloud9 in utter shambles. That's not around.
Well played, Leaf. Well played, guys.
He is completely worked.
वो ऐसे क्यों आया पता है? क्योंकि ये लोग जब डिफेंस खेल रहे थे तो वो लोग दोनों हेवन खेल रहा था. तो अगर एक को भी मार देता तो 1v1 हो जाता. फिर उसका पास कुछ ना कुछ करने के लिए था. अल्टी ने तो कुछ. पर ये किसी को इधर होल्ड नहीं किया, तो एक तो कंफर्म होल्ड कर रहा होगा. मैं यहाँ से जाके यहाँ से आए तो ये किधर ले के ले भाई.
Confused. That is lovely stuff.
Yeah!
A little confused as to why he spotted them both
His
out
body
there,
language
to be honest.
makes it look like it was obvious, but homie literally went upstairs all the way through up and down into tree. The most circuitous route for the retake.
ये प्रॉब्लम होता है. अगर ये लोग 1v2 खेलते थे, ये लोग हमेशा बॉक्स में खेलना चाहिए. बॉक्स में आराम से खेलो क्योंकि एंगल एक ही होल्ड करना होता है. ये लोग पता नहीं इतना ज्यादा ओपन क्यों खेलता है.
Hit up that showstopper. Fair enough. Rolling Thunder here makes things awkward for C9, and Giacomo found Zeppa. Digs him out on the A side of the map. Now narrowing options down for C9. They have to re-clear that area.
Zeppa needs to begin heating up. That's a really winnable duel for him.
ऑक्सी छोड़ दिया वो एंगल, देखा है. ऑक्सी को पता है वो एंगल में फिर होगा.
Zeppa torched NRG in Cloud9's debut. Really shut down those saying he should have been one of the casualties of C9's roster moves in the offseason. With that breakout performance in match 1.
Oh,
needs
1
to step
HP.
it up here. They need him.
भाई जोगोमो लीव दोनों 1 HP.
But like he said, it could be anybody on C9. Any given day that steps up to that degree, but they could use.
पर नेट कैसे खेल रहा है भाई? नेट का हाथ मॉनिटर में लगा हुआ है. वो ऐसे खेल रहा है. नेट का हाथ मॉनिटर में से लग के बैठा.
Finally settling on their intended spike location. Oxy steps into a Trent. Okay, Trent cuts a bloody swat through Cloud9, and Net is able to salvage.
30 seconds left.
But it's a grim landscape that he looks upon now with the absence of his teammates, and Leaf will put him out of his misery.
This team is looking scary good right now. Cloud9's
ट्रेंड क्या मार रहा है?
pick looking like it's going up in smoke.
We're giggling. We're guffawing. I can get
Cloud9 are going to be sent straight back onto the eco.
तो ये मारा कहाँ से? ट्रेंड कहाँ से मारा? कौन मारा ट्रेंड को?
Crosshair is just steady.
I mean, that was a conveyor belt of fresh meat, Wyatt. No two ways about it.
C9 did good work just prior in the round 2, baiting out some of those ultimates, safely escaping out of the B site, but ends in tragedy. Early a fight again.
And who is with him? Who is with him? The rest of C9 are forced back by the fault line. Oxy has no support there. And he's committed. He's stuck out there. He has to go for it. Another early round play goes up in smoke for the attackers.
Trying to pivot now back to Mound or Cloud9. We've seen this story
G2
multiple
बहुत heavy दिख
rounds
रहा है
now,
भाई.
where they go for that early foray
हेवी तो है
into
ही ये
A.
G2 पहले से हेवी है.
They try to insert
कैसा
someone
तो
in
नया
the
रोस्टर आया
pick,
जो
but
मैं आया.
really just resulted in
जोना पी पहले से
loss
था
of
शायद
life.
ट्रेंड
They
है.
pivot
पता नहीं
to
याद नहीं है.
C. G2 give the side up. They play for the man advantage. Retake, rinse and repeat.
Fallon can take his time here. He is flashed, forced back, but the Leaf is there. The second wave steps up, deals with Vic, and now stands confidently in between both of these salvos. Surely you can't have another one. Zeppa might swing on this one. Net from the high ground, though, deals with it. Stinger's here. Remember, it's an awkward buy for C9. They've done well to at least get into the site, but still, no plant.
That's the first time we've really seen G2 try to fight before the spike goes down. Dodgemo on the flank gets a free one onto Zeppa. It's all in the hands of Net versus former team with no HP, no weaponry.
They're brimming with confidence, White. There's no need to wait for them to plant. No need to give the extra credits over to C9. They are being throttled in every metric. And Net just doesn't even see where his assailants are set up.
It is suffocating to play against this G2 squad. Dominant in the map control game. And utterly fantastic at the fundamental Valorant situations, trading off of each other in these retakes. Swinging for together at the proper times.
And this is
These guys are so good, man.
This is broadly considered an attack side of the map, but Cloud9 have been suffocated. They've never really been able to hit a site, get an easy plant, and the retakes have been sublime when that's happened.
We have Cloud9 with the full buy. Big ultimates to play with here to stop the bleeding. Leaf feeling the pressure from the fault line, going to drop the Viper's Pit, try and delay this C-side execute, allow some rotates to come through.
And he avoids all of it. Every one of those ultimates, yep. Okay, well, Leaf's going to sit inside the pit that wasn't able to be cleared by all of that util. There was someone caught inside that Annihilation at the very least. Looks like they were rescued though. Was it a clone? Was that a Yoru clone inside the Annihilation?
We'll need a replay on that from the point of view of the Annihilator. And
okay.
I would love to see what happened there. I could not tell through the mess of the pit and just seeing Leaf trying to dodge around everything that was happening.
I'm thinking Jorgamo might have boomed him into the next dimension. Well, we'll check back in on that.
And this time C9, they're back on the pivot to A. I like this util to re-clear Rubble, but they're flashed up, denied, and the guiding salvo forces them back out of the choke point.
The retake wall gets thrown up, denies their vision, and Cloud9 now 34 seconds to work with. B is the only option they haven't tried yet. Net actually able to find some momentum, but Jonah P steps back up, sits him down, and now you've got no choice. Cloud9 have to throw themselves this solution, and it's going to be Vic solo TPing forward. Jonah lazily takes him out. Now with 2 players left, this is Cloud9 in a position to try and plant, but time is short and Jaw. Yeah, he can't see the planter. Valen, though, tries to make something happen from upper, but it's a solo endeavor.
This is must-win for C9. They can't give this round up. They can't afford to lose another.
Zeppa is low. Leaf knows he's up there, and he is starting to creep up on the site. Zeppa is holding a passive angle here, and he swings it! George just deals with him. Now Leaf can potentially try and work around the extremities of this poison orb. Someone give it a tickle, surely! And that's why it's called the can opener, not cannot.
They drop the orb, perfect timing, double face. This G2 team, I'm blown away so far. Everything that occurred in the offseason, the opposite is happening in VCT right now.
Oh, it is the clone!
Oh my god! Oh, crazy.
So not only does he take 3
I
kills, he
can't believe
just counters the Deadlock ultimate entirely. Oh, Net goes fishing and comes up with an old boot. You hate to see it. Gotta be a pause here.
Second for Cloud9.
दोनों timer चला गया.
They have burnt through those all in the first half, and Imi knows he needs to get some attack side rounds on the board for these guys before they head into the break.
Historically, this map was leaning attack.
अगर 4 राउंड निकाल सकने से अभी इसका बाद कंटिन्यू 4 राउंड 3 राउंड निकालने
Not
से
enough
ठीक है.
data to support that at the moment.
Right. But still this idea that the defenders, by and large, are spread relatively thin over 3 sites, right? It doesn't feel like G2 have suffered as a result of that. They always seem to be where they're needed.
It's been dominant map control from them towards A, and they end up typically being able to find a kill from it as well, routing C9 to another site where one player has pressed up, is holding an information angle, they give it up, they play for retake. This is textbook Valorant that they're playing, but it's perfect.
And for Imi, I'd say this is the kind of half that'll make you want to pull your hair out, but, well, that's not an issue.
Come on, man, they're already down 8-1.
It's been brutal.
You have to do them like that, they're already...
I mean, he looks pretty frustrated back there. We spent a lot of time talking to a very frustrated Imi last year as well, right? Just trying to get things on track for the C9 team. It's been a while since they've been at an international tournament, Wyatt. Many years, in fact.
All missiles away.
They're trying to get out into A, but again, it's G2 with this early control. The breach, the Taeho, it's just too strong on that area of the map. Wants to get a duel against Jaw, but
we're doing
just
that.
Come.
1v1 नहीं निकाल पा रहा है 1v1 नहीं निकाल पा रहा है
Alright, Leak gonna be leaked here briefly. Oxy though a little bit too late to capitalize on that, but still gets himself onto the side here. Once again, G2 not looking to interfere pre-plant. They're really giving a lot of space.
C9 want to find a pick. They want to even this 4v4. Dimensional Drift to get the information for the retakers.
Okay, Oxy, a little sharp. More of that. And Cloud9 will be smooth sailing with Jonah P. Chimes back in. Professor will book no nonsense. Jaw? Okay, just from the Dimensional Drift into a fault line. Not ideal. Mitch sets that up well. Now the Rolling Thunder. Just as Leaf was trying to make a push, so Vic's able to clean him up comfortably and find a second from the back of sight. It's up to Old Faithful, Old Reliable. Valor will fall, and Vic comes alive for Cloud9.
Finally, out of the timeout, they're able to win around some proactivity, hitting that C site, fighting for halls together. Oxy getting a much-needed kill. He didn't need to do much against NRG the other day.
Bam.
But you are looking for this guy to be the star that we know he is. He was one of the best duelists of 2024. Outrageous stats for all of America's Stage 1, Stage 2. He's got to come to life.
कोई नहीं आएगा टाइम दो आएगा
Vic happily snaps him up.
ये इधर क्यों नेट कर रहे हैं इधर कोई अप्रोच
This
नहीं
is
कर
not
रहा
a
है
round that will be supported by mass ultimates.
Wow, different from C9. They want to just contact out of here.
आयो
It's a little dicey, but we get there. Two sprayed down there with the Phantom. Jonah's going to have to stand and fight here, but he went for the weapon switch. And Zep was able to catch him out.
या बहुत भागा रहे वो
Great refight from Cloud9. They just need to seal the deal, trade down effectively in the 3 versus 2. They can go tree into A safely.
Leaf already with a massive 1 versus 3 clutch earlier in this half.
Vic still has a paranoia. Could be a big piece of util to have one of his teammates swing off of, where he can proc that when the spike is tapped, flash up the person trying to defuse.
George,
ये लोग सही खेल रहा है देख रहा है
rifle yet. He's picked up a
एक
Phantom.
खोलेगा मरने वाला तू
Up really not where he wants to be in a fight like this. Now they're making all sorts of noise here with the paranoia. There's the clone. A lot of damage being put on C9 here. George tries to swing it. Leaf is there. Oh my goodness, Leaf. There's more work to be done. Very classy little right click here, and he knows approximately where Zeppo is, but not exactly. It's the two teammates, brothers in arms from yesteryear, and Zeppo this time wins it out. Shorty gets him there.
Finally for Cloud9. It feels that they've stopped that bleeding. They're coming back into the game with some adjustments made late in the half, but at least they've made them right. They're getting a couple desperately needed rounds on the board, so they have a chance when they get to defense. This time opting to contact, walk out of the smoke, rather than just rotating off. The salvo's coming in from the Taeho, the fault line from the breach. And then they go for the refight after that when G2 are fully committed. That was lovely from C9.
Jonah P not ready for that at all, right? You see him actually switching to a flash at the time. Jaw this time happy to throw down, but of course, Cloud9 syncopate a little bit. They are going to walk up through this smoke still and clear that area with the aftershock.
Yeah, Salvo forces Jawjamo to retreat, take that teleport back to A, double up with Trent. That is a strong duo to anchor this site. Armageddon comes through to try to force them off. Trent is caught.
Okay, I don't think he knew where to go. Flashed out, it's unclear either way. Jonah hit with that grab net. That's the second time Net has pulled off that play, following up on his own grab net. And there's Oxy, converting and doing what needs to be done.
हम जो बोलते हैं वही क्यों हो रहा है भाई 8-4 करना है बोले 8-4 हो गया
down the rotators. And Cloud9 feeling the energy, the crowd getting behind them a bit as well as we get to the half, and now they've got a chance. That's enough rounds to make a run at it on defense.
Absolutely, getting a good start in the second half would be huge. Let's see how this played out. Okay.
ये blind हो गया ना क्या हो
गया? He was in the stealth drone, so it comes out of it and he's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's just unfortunate stuff. Still, both teams getting a feel for how that Taeho util is supposed to work. There it is, folks. Halftime in this match between G2 and C9 is 4 rounds in it. We'll see you on the other side as Cloud9 switch up sides.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Six consecutive rounds put together by G2 started to put the fear of God in Cloud9, but a very timely Imi timeout there just before round 10 sees C9 get to 4 rounds in the half. It's, look, not amazing. They definitely were hoping for a little bit more, but still 4 rounds to work with. It's a staging ground to build off, and hopefully with a 1 pistol.
Certainly. They rallied back before the clock struck midnight. 3 rounds strung together in a row. Something we've seen a lot for C9 so far is Zeppa top of the board. Let's see if they can play even better on defense. They looked good against NRG the other day. They had a lot of cool trap plays with this deadlock and then using the damage from Tejo.
Both teams looking to make extensive use of Valorant's newest initiator. It's going to be Vic called upon here to be the contact player from the C side. And okay, Joe. Shoulder peek to confirm there is an Omen in the site. Paranoia is going to force Vic out entirely, though, so for relatively little cost, G2 is set up on C.
Yeah, time for a full retake situation. Fair bit of utility for Cloud9 to work with. There's a stealth drone for Zeppa. Vic has that Paranoia to try and get back in, and Mitch's fault line just cycled. Not a situation you see super often on a pistol round, but let's see if C9 have a protocol for this, if they've got that set retake ready.
Yeah, grab net there as well for net. Okay, there's a fault line, comes from both ways. In fact, 3 players from C9 stunned up, but G2 aren't in a position to capitalize, and here's the fight. Jorgamo with the right click on the site. Valen doesn't want to fully commit. He knows he's a little out at sea. The rest of his team are sat on mound, and Valen is going to be the sacrificial lamb to try and hold them up. He gets his, and now from long distance, and all this terrifying util, Cloud9 have got to fight through a literal avalanche of explosives.
Unfortunately, it is going to be
so
difficult for that retaking team on a pistol round where you have less HP inherently to wade through all of those explosives with all 5 players alive spamming at you while you're trying to defuse.
You can't tank those hits.
You just can't. The Tejo does far too much damage.
Losing that pistol there for Cloud9 just as they started to build back into the game. That is going to hurt. Jorgamo wastes no time in adding an to his arsenal.
The defenders want to gamble for a full A fight, rushing down rubble and trying simply containing back towards spawn. Fall back with the rest of the team who intend on going to
That's out of the bag now for Cloud9. Now they're just going to try and chase them down. Obviously a pretty long range. Leaf is the ghost player here, so definitely considered a little more expendable despite the fact that he's been ranching Cloud9, 15-7 his scoreline. And we're all in the C side now. C9 looking for a retake here, maybe from B through Waterfall.
And they try to flip the site just a little bit. Can play from back halls. They know that all of Cloud9 were running through A, so they've taken some really excellent forward positioning.
Valen can give this info. No one is wrapping up towards hall side, he says now, though he might smash it. Oh my goodness, okay, 2 for 1. Take that deal any day of the week, and now the Professor is also presiding over things. Hardly necessary, maybe extraneous, but still. Net now has very little to do outside of perish in the most honorable way possible. I personally recommend a 1-man charge.
Unless he gets a kill, it's a repeat of history from the first half. G2 take the pistol, and all 5 players survive on the anti-eco. putting them in prime position to close the door in C9's face and head over to Abyss, which is G2's map pick.
Oh man, there's just no one to follow up on that fault line, and Valen was already getting out of there.
I think Oxy was supposed to be the follow-up.
Nice. Thank you, Trent, thank you.
That's what friends are for. Here we go, Cloud9. Might be their last chance with the economy on the line with a full buy.
Not set up to aggressively play into Rubble this time. Okay.
Just purely predictive that someone would be jiggling or holding C with the dark cover there.
Against a fully armored target. Actually, I think that was the half armor player. Either way, Vic. Those ones are tough to swallow.
Oh, Net wants to re-clear, but Leaf, keenly aware, doesn't forego the watchful eye on that angle.
Just want to remind people this is a bonus for G2, one in which they have 3 Bulldogs.
And one in which they're about to win. C9 make a miracle happen. C-site free once again. That's where G2 are headed.
And there's no one home. And they know that for a fact after Net had sort of pushed up off of that.
They're about to get 2 free upgrades as well, by the way.
And they've had the C-site for free 2 rounds in a row. This time now with a very undermanned C9 who, well, I think they're thinking about holding on to these weapons as long as they can.
They might just have to go for the save here.
Little 3-gunner.
Keep enough weapons that they're not just strictly playing for OT if they send it right now. G2, they can hunt. Leaf trying to do something with the Outlaw here. Oxy on the angle and a little bit too quick.
Doesn't cost him too much at the end. Cloud9 really, with 3 guns, have nowhere to go. And all they've really learned about what G2 are doing is, well, they're not fighting aggressively on Rubble yet. That's at least the conditioning that's been set. Cloud9 spending resources on that A side of the map early in the round. They've just not been able to come up with anything just yet. And so, I'm sorry, 2 players walking into that Outlaw line. That is a tough one. Also, 2 rifles taken away. G2.
You have to feel at this point that C9 are rattled.
लीफ का लकी डे चल रहा है ना, लीफ अच्छा खेल रहा है, पता
2 clean anti-ecos. Yeah, they had to expend them in the first half.
That's right. Imi just in wordless rage on the side of the glass case. Cannot interact with Cloud9 at this time.
They want to go for something aggressive towards that C side.
Net is glass cannon this round. No armor to speak of.
Dark cover goes down. Pressure from the Tejo. G2, they try to rush this through the smoke.
Okay, Vic's able to recover something. But that util has been very, very good from Jonah P. Fault line sets an easy kill up for Vic. Okay, Mitch not too bad, finding 2 here. It's Zeppa and the armorless Net remaining in this 2 versus 2.
And Net who's trying to push for a bit of information. It looks like G2 are going to end up walking into Zeppa over on that C site.
It's unclear really if Zeppa's going to give them too much here. Can sort of go and scout this with the drone. Honestly, this is a ratty spot, Zeppa. That is extremely rodent-esque. He's getting out of it. Swinging on it. Oh, Jorg. Okay.
Timing.
Had his back turned. Yep, sometimes it's just meant to be. Zeppa again has to be the savior for Cloud9.
The worst of timings for Georgimo. Just adjusts his crosshair as Zeppa falls into the angle, collects 2. This double spray down from Mitch was crucial in the mid-round, though.
Just the fact that Zeppa could have sat in that corner, you know, and probably done it right, at least a 1 and done there. Gives up that position, walks out, and finds Jorgimo thinking of other things. We might actually see a fast play towards Rubble, so let's see if G2 have conditioned C9 enough against this.
Minor signs of life for C9 in the second half. Oxy going in fast, wants to play top. Rubble. Jorgimo getting that information with the dimensional drift, actually pivoting into B where the rest of the team will meet him.
Yeah, already flash pressure going to be there. Net going to force Net back. And immediately the judge goes to work, but Oxy with a spray down through is able to catch out the offender. Now it's going to fall apart for G2. It's just Leaf. Spike a long way away. He's playing from upper, still doable with those headshots.
अरे भाई Leaf.
Leaf versus Vic. The old versus new. The mastermind versus the student. There it is from Vic. Your favorite player's favorite player. Closes out the round.
Leaf क्या खेल रहे हैं?
Dominating in the challenger scene for a long time.
Leaf क्या खेल
One
रहे हैं?
who's not always been as hyped up by the community, I think, as he's been, you know, maybe deserving.
Net बाहर आ गया निकल के पता है?
One that other pro players have definitely taken note of. Have mentioned him a lot as someone to keep your eye on. Finally able to play in Tier 1 with this Cloud9 team who've really taken a chance on some of these slept-on challengers players that have been really good but aren't putting up the star performances always that are driving attention from the community.
From Moist X Shopify to Cloud9, Vic has burst onto the scene this year.
We have this deep dark cover place that's currently being worked around by Leaf. Now tucked into the corner as the rest of his team press up towards A, playing off the wall. Jajimo is in deep. It's rare to see a Viper on this map nowadays, which is funny because it used to be a must pick.
Net. Little aim lapse. Brimming with confidence, pushes out a B, runs into a drone. Clowns on him a little bit. Jorgamo hoping that flashes. Stairs plays at bay for a little bit. Clone is going to be hit. Jorg pushing ahead of so much of this util. He's got the site locked down, but all of Cloud9 able to pull up to upper.
And you can just see by his pathing the disregard for his own life that Jajimo has, man. He is fearless.
Disregard for his own, but also his opponent's. It's an easy pickup for him. No self-preservation mechanism ends up being his secret power. Sent topside by G2. Trent lets it go. Fallon again. Rock solid! He's third for the rounds. Now it's up to Nets. Try to unravel the chokehold that his old team has put him in.
He does have the annihilation if he can maybe find another kill.
Can't afford it.
No, he can't with just 200 credits in the bank. He's going to fall back. Too little time, especially considering the Taeho still living for G2 could play a mega passive angle and just send out the guided salvos to get an easy round win.
And this smarts. Why, this really hurts. Cloud9 after a very competitive, but ultimately successful series against NRG. Pickload is coming into this game, think, okay, let's continue to go to work on some of the biggest names in Americas. It's NRG into G2, that is serious business. But here, map point against them, and they've really struggled to stand out.
This G2 squad is delivering on the expectations that we had set for them coming into this year. It's been a great debut map, one more round to close it out and go to their pick Abyss. Cloud9.
They're up against the
here. They want to fight in the choke.
They're like kids in a candy store trying to get through onto this A side of the map. They want to brawl for it. There's a TP away. Jorg up on Rubble, and Oxy is already in there. Fallon got taken down. That was the peak on the left side of Rubble. Jorg now has to think twice about going for this, and Oxy is deep. The cat amongst the pigeons. Don't mind if I do, he says. 9th frag of the game. Muted outing for Oxy, but come alive just now when he needs to.
They want to pivot towards C. Net is just jiggling, ready to throw the grab net in case they're walking in, but Leaf.
What about the dead
speed?
net?
Oh my god, the reaction on that is sick.
There's Jonah P. Vic is low, by the way. Just a strong wind to blow him over, and Jonah P is a hurricane. We're even up, though, in the post-plant. Leaf stepping forward on the side, getting ahead of the util. Oh, it's just too easy, baby. G2.
भाई लीफ तो क्या खेल रहा है भाई लीफ का तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा हमको.
Throw the gauntlet down on C9's map of choice. It's a 13-6 result. And G2 showed they were serious in the off-season. Went shopping for a world champion. Come back with a roster that looks terrifying.
That was an absolute dismantling of Cloud9 on their map pick. One we saw them beat NRG on. So far, so good for a team that has massive expectations. The roster that picked up that world champion Jajimo, strong first outing. But it was Leaf at the end of the day who really stepped up here for G2. Dominant on the Viper.
And a big part of the problem is only 4 attack rounds here for Cloud9, despite the pretty effective util usage from Mitch, of course, and getting a lot of value out of the Taeho of Zeppa, who had a great game in general. They just can't convert and get smothered across the map by G2. It feels like G2 always knew where to be.
I'm excited to see what G2 have on offer when we
Leaf
get to
क्या
their
खेल रहा है
map
भाई?
pick Abyss, which is coming up next. They've only played it a couple times, and last we saw them, it was a loss to Lev at Champions. I'd like to see what their level is now.
We're going to step away for a moment, but when we return, our desk with GB are going to break down this first map of our last series of the week.
लीव्स तो डेंजर खेला है भाई गजू वाला
Okay, TC Cream, we need you guys on the stage now. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
I am standing by with Josh RT before game 2. Now they take out map 1, not even their own pick, but you are going to your own. I am standing by with Josh RT before game 2. Now they take out map 1, not even their own pick, but you are going to your own pick. Players are already playing amazing. G2 seems to always be able to field great players, but I want to know your approach that also helps that. How do you keep that mental strong? And we are always seeing G2 stay in the game. What's that coming from you?
Well,
We'll never know.
What an answer.
What's it going to be?
What's
it going to be, Josh RT?
Honestly, on pins and needles over here. We'll have to find out next time. But in any case, though, welcome back to the desk, everyone. GB alongside Mimi and Enders. We really just continue to talk about how good this G2 lineup looks as they win Lotus 13-6. And Mimi, I mean, you got to start right out of the gate. Jogamo.
Yeah, I think we're already seeing the difference between the team of last year and this team with Jaw. And him on this Euro, we saw him willing to take so many really interesting risks throughout this game. Some crazy entry pathing on the attack side, but a round I wanted to look at from their defense, where you see G2 hearing this B execute starting to come through from C9. They're going to pretty instantly react with a Rolling Thunder, completely dissuade that from happening. But while all that's going on, Jaw, basically alone in this endeavor, full walks up, gets a kill outside A, and then teleports back. And it's not a huge thing, but I think little moments like that are things that you didn't really see Icy doing that much last year for G2. Jaw's a player who's willing to take those calculated risks, go get his in the 1v1, and he was rewarded for it quite a few times in this game.
It was really this two-pronged approach from G2 in that first half where they crushed, 8-4 on the defensive side, where you had Jaw looking for those aggro pieces. And on the other side of the map, usually on that C side, Leaf was just putting on an amazing solo anchor performance. I mean, there were numerous times where he's getting swarmed as a solo player and finding positions on site where he's dodging away from Teo Yuto, breach utility, playing around his own orb and wall very, very nicely. So I think while Giacomo was putting the fear of God into C9,
and some highlights.
Leaf was the one popping up and get these multi-frags on those holds.
We told this is like the revenge match for Net getting dropped from G2, but it seemed like it was one Leaf just taking his former teammates and absolutely putting them down as a solo anchor. It's clear he's got a little chip on his shoulder there too.
Oh, without a doubt. But then, you know, another thing that had really shined through in this matchup was that Tejo breach, right? Both, really on both sides. I really like these agents together. You get so much you could do with this, Ender, and really want to get your take on this.
Yeah, well, I mean, really, these agents are just incredible at breaking a site, whether that's on the attacking side, getting in, or the defensive side, trying to go for these re-clears. And I think what G2 were able to do on their defensive side a lot was when they had to get back into a site, deal with the deadlock utility, and then overwhelm the opposition. The fact that they had the Yoru thrown into that mix as well, adding another layer of flashes, and that quick dash in to play off the utility, it just pairs so nicely together.
Despite playing into the deadlock, I think G2 had a really good idea of when they were actually ready to use the util on the retake. You never saw either initiator pre-firing it. It was all perfectly coordinated on those retakes and clearly super well rehearsed for G2.
You're seeing, you know, the influence of Giacomo on this team, the brain of Valen at work, Leaf putting in some numbers. It's been really cool to see G2 dominate the way that they have, but C9 not out of it yet. Let's actually go over to Coach Emmy, hear what he has to say.
I am joined by Emmy to get a few words here. Looking at map 1, didn't go your way to start, but it did start to come back there. Are you trying to settle the guys' nerves? Do you feel like they're all right? What's it looking like going to game 2?
No, I think it's definitely a mentality battle right now. We just need to get in the right place. I mean, we lost both pistols. We started slow. So I think we just reset our mentals and we'll be good. We just need to not be so tense. Every time we play G2, we're a little bit tense.
Easy things to identify. Hope it's there in game 2.
Whenever they play G2, they're a little bit tense. Fascinating, but even more so now because of just the firepower that's at the disposal of G2.
Yeah, and if you're looking at what should be the two top fraggers for the teams, the duelists, the difference between Giacomo and Icy was palpable this game. Oxy had sort of a rough showing in that opening match versus NRG, but here he's 1-6 in openers, whereas on the other side, Jaw 6-1 on those.
Wow.
Now we're moving on to Abyss, which is a super wide map. Off is going to come into play. I'd be shocked if I didn't see Giacomo on that Yoru again.
Yep.
Oxy's going to have to step up or it's just over.
He absolutely is. This is a jet map. It's pretty comfortable one for Oxy, but it will be very reliant on him, especially on their defense. Getting an operator in his hands would be big. I'm interested to see what else G2 fill around. You mentioned earlier they used to play that really slow double smokes control comp on this map, but we just saw Jonah P hovering on the breach there.
Yeah.
He might change up the pace and go back into that breach Tejo.
Yeah, I believe it was Navi that was playing the breach Tejo on Abyss the other day in EMEA, and that is unreal in the post plants. The stun on that B site going
so
down
good.
on the cringe plant
sound
spot
fun.
is bonkers.
Does not sound fun to play against. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick pause for the cause, and when we return, it's going to be map 2 on Abyss, Cloud9 versus G2. We'll see you in a few.
Well, we heard from Emmy at halftime, and I think there's probably more than a couple of teams that feel a little bit tense when taking on a roster like G2 right now because they look sublime out there. Cloud9 map pick is Lotus, and G2 make it look like their home ground, baby. Now we're off to Abyss. That's where G2 wanted to take this game. You've got to know there's something in store.
We haven't seen Abyss actually played by Cloud9 in a VCT match before. And in the case of G2, the last time we saw them on it, they actually lost to Lev at Champions. It knocked them into the lower bracket. They had the iconic 5 players on an eco round jump off the map.
Oh, what happened to the game I love?
What happened to it? All right, we got the agent select. Cloud9 going in with a double controller look. This is what they did on Fracture, actually, against NRG the other day. It was very successful on their attack side, getting into the site and then cycling those smokes, making it really tough for the retakers to get back in. but they struggled on defense. And without a Sentinel, I think we'll see more of that here. And
Ooh, we got a Sentinel here.
We do have a Sentinel, not the expected one. A lot of Cypher was being played here before. People started playing a lot of Vice. I have not seen a lot of Chamber. This should be fun, especially given that Leaf is coming off the back of dropping 22 for 10 deaths on map 1, something along those lines. So he is in white-hot form. Chamber might be the perfect agent to close this out, get G2 into those upper semifinals.
The kind of Sentinel that allows you to get off one of those op angles for free, essentially. Something that obviously only a few agents, most of them duelists, can actually achieve. And elsewhere, we've seen Giacomo disrupting the flow of the game. We're sort of on Lotus, getting these random picks on the other side of the map and being able to rejoin the rest of G2 when they wanted to hit a site hard.
G2, they've always favored the Yoru on this map. Icy was playing it back in the day, last year at the end. For them.
Chalo, let's
go. We
go.
go. Cloud9 on the attack side. A 0 point reveals 0 information. No one on G2 pushed up in A main.
But we do have Leaf.
Come on, C9.
Making some presence.
ये राउंड उठाओ चलो ऑक्सीजन में चलो Oh, short Leaf भाई Leaf को फिर क्या
Where you left off as well. It's Oxy of all plays going
Leaf
down to that moment.
अच्छा ठीक है
We saw this as well. Towards the end of Lotus, Mitch able to recover things in a pinch.
Out of nowhere, duel against Jonah P could determine the round, and it's one for the defenders. 3 versus 2. They can play to the man advantage in this retake.
Yeah, plenty of players set up towards tower here by G2, but the smokes are in their way right now. Speculative shots to try and soften up C9 in this postpartum pick. Tries to get ahead of it.
Oh, I can't believe that miss. Threaded the needle with that right click.
And the Prof has himself his hat trick now. Low might just be the play used to draw Net out of hiding. Nice little connection here, but it's too much to cover. Jonah P walks out of the round with 4.
A good setup in mid from G2. Fair play to Mitch, trying to recover things. The IGL...
Someone wake Lothar up, please!
Who's returned to C9 after a couple years, but G2 are just looking too good, man. 4 kills already for the Professor, on his way to the Rolling Thunder. A nice little fun fact about Leaf.
I tell you what. Guys,
Leaf को क्या बोलेगा भाई?
They step on up, he knocks him on down. He had a great map 1 of this series.
आसपास से सिर्फ 230 kills से डिफरेंस है मतलब लग रहा है ये सीजन ही उठाएगा लीफ जो
racked up a hell of a lot of the kills on that stat.
लीफ जो मार रहा है ना
was the duelist initially for G2 as well last year, but it's when he swapped to Sentinel they made the role changes that they really began to come into their own.
भाई ये क्या कर
and they want to go from just a great team to the best. They have the tools to do it this year. Your expectation should be that they can be contending for world titles.
Christie is selling for them on the desk. He says they're winning champions. You heard it here first. A lot of confidence. And there's the Marshall, not quite actually finding any purchase there straight down mid, but it's enough to dissuade Cloud9. They're headed over towards A again.
For Cloud9, they're just trying to get their nerve back, get comfortable again.
दो स्मोकर खेल रहा है तो स्मोक कर सकता है रैंडम दो स्मोकर खेल रहा है तो
couple small moments here and there, but they need someone to step up.
ओके मिड पे ये लोग स्मोक करके तो बुलाया तो है ए पे भी वो लोग को रिवील गया तो कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है बी खाली मिलेगा पर चैम्बर का यूटिल है
Can they get to B though within this window? Looks like they're going to hit it pretty fast now. Letho, big
reveal का गया
Mitch the pivot, the fulcrum is down.
reveal कहाँ से कहाँ दिया वो
Leaf's in position to deal with anyone playing close to double swing. Though it's just too much. Oh my goodness, Leaf blows them away. Just a little too easy. Okay, Jorg. Yep. The internal K9 makes its appearance.
एक चला गया कोई बात नहीं
3 pistol rounds taken by G2 in this series. Cloud9 just can't find that match to, you know, light something and begin to some momentum. They've been fighting from behind this entire series.
Spinning their tires.
They got 1 kill, at least on this on their eco round rather. It's the first time they've done that in this series after losing the pistol. But that is virtually nothing.
Clean conversion on the anti-eco. Into the bonus here, it's quite the assortment of weaponry, Wyatt. Marshall, Bulldog Stingers.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
That is cheeky from Leaf getting into that A main position. A couple G2 players stacked up for B, and actually a quick rotate from Jonah, but the first blood is found by Vic, and with the Cosmic Divide, it's easy access to the B site.
Yep, net able to
Cosmic Divide आ गया मिड का तीसरा राउंड
develop that one pretty early.
कैसे
So here it is, Jorg and Jonah P set up on the other side of that wall. Again, just a bonus here for G2, but they're definitely hoping to keep a lid on this C9 economy, to give them too free a win. Oxy waiting, salivating for a chance to throw down, but Trent is going to find his 2.
Opportunity to do some real damage.
एम काम नहीं कर रहा है
G2,
उसी का
if they can find one more, that would be enough to have a pretty solid round here. They can't.
क्या हो गया माउस चला गया
On the swing from
ज़ेपा का
backside, and I believe that was net from heaven.
ज़ेपा का माउस चला गया शायद
Only 2 guns lost there. Trent able to divest Cloud9 of a couple of those weapons. Now the proper buy up, and this is what we were waiting to see. Leaf has taken an operator at the first opportunity.
Does he dare go for that jump around A again? I'm going to assume. Oh my God.
He's doing it.
He's actually going to get. Please don't fall off the map. Praying. He does not.
I mean, the guy's a little bit of a movement god. No, he's fine, it's fine. Easy.
Oh, easy.
Sticks the landing, and now he will lie in wait.
पर वैसे जाने का
Obviously,
जरूरत
the
तो नहीं
rendezvous
था
means he can get out of here at a pinch. So just one free pick, and then peace out. No, it's going to be Oxy to clean him up. Sometimes the best laid plans go to waste.
Reaction time was so swift from Oxy as C9.
ऑक्सी का एम काम करने स्टार्ट करेगा ना तो गया ये लोग तो नहीं होगा ये लोग से क्योंकि ये लोग का कॉन्फिडेंस ही गिर जाएगा ऑक्सी का एम देख के क्योंकि छोटा है ना बच्चा है तो उसका रिएक्शन टाइम बहुत ज्यादा होता है
That's down on the bedrock level.
Take flight.
Gonna be clearing this nebula here with the Owl drone. Order the Astra Stars.
ओ भाई ड्रोन को भी लो
Now we can get past that gravity well pretty easily. Okay,
Nice.
Net gets the jump on Jorg here. So any threat of that wrap around through mid has been neutralized.
Now do G2 actually want to go for this in the 3 versus 5? Or are they going to save? Here comes the fault line from Jonah P.
Null command from Mitch just popped here, so I think that's it. You're calling a cancel on that.
Yeah, at least they extracted a little bit of value from the pressure that they put on there to get that out.
And a gun.
Trent does pick up the kill on Net. Net, who, by the way, has been, despite, Cloud9's woes in this series so far, he's been really good at reading the rotates from G2, cutting them off, finding picks on the flank in that way.
Sorry, Trent. Yeah, he's pinged it out. Okay. That'll be the round. Of course, talking to Net, I mean, he already been able to build a Cosmic Divide in that 3rd round, right, to set up for Cloud9 to make sure they had a pretty safe buy. So pretty instrumental so far at 5 and 3. And he's halfway to his next one as well.
No operator for Leaf this time, but he is 1 away from getting the free operator with his ultimate, so we'll have to see if they can play to an orb for him, or...
वही खेलेगा फॉरवर्ड खेलेगा होगा
Next round, stick with the headhunter
नहीं
for now.
नहीं लगता
Cloud9, they're gathered up for a fast
नहीं वही लग रहा
B.
है
At least that's what
चेक
it
करे
looks
अगर
like
नहीं हुआ
right
तो
now in G2. It looks like they want to actually fight forward. Dodger will take a duel and then teleport away to safety.
इसको
Drew
मारो
out some util in fairness.
ज़ेपा को पड़ा
Fault line here going to disrupt things a little now for Cloud9, buying time for these players to get set up and onto the B side.
अब ले
G2
लेगा
have rotated 3 players into the site, ready to anchor.
They're so certain about this, despite not having a ton of mid control.
There had just been a drone reclear actually from Trent into mid. Ned is just passively watching the flank, something he's going to have to be very attentive to given their lack of Sentinel in this composition.
Okay. Nebula being thrown up towards heaven here by Cloud9, so it's the go signal for sure. Oxy with a cloudburst to try and deny him high ground play. He's going to plunge now straight out of that cloudburst. Mitch has been so good on the ground. There's that tour de force though, claims his first victim of the round. It's Net out of the picture. Trent finds yet another one. George sat there waiting for Oxy to show. He knows Zeppa's high, but can't make the adjustment. Now it's Leaf. Headhunter tour de force ready. And Mitch, who's been pretty darn good, but not good enough.
So quick with the scoping, with the flick, the adjustment from Leaf is perfect. Gets that ultimate online. Tour de force paying dividends.
And that's why Balance says, my Sentinel is better than your star player. 7 and 3 for Leaf, after a brilliant Lotus as well.
Heartbreaking for C9, who cracked into that site with a duo of kills from Mitch, who, despite being the IGL, was also putting in work on the scoreboard. The aim has been looking nice today. It's just not enough. Cloud9, though, with the plant, their economy still good enough to provide, good enough, in fact, that they want to get an operator into the hands of Oxy.
Ooh. A little bit of free damage on Zeppa, nothing you'd write home about. Cloud9 settling into a bit of a default early in the round. What's Jorg up to on that B side? Maybe starting to inch up a little closer as Leaf has the line with this op.
They're taking positional liberties with the gate crash. Still back B, ready to teleport away to safety if necessary. It's a Cloud9 who really just want to slow down the game, allow Oxy some time to work mid. He's been holding a pretty passive angle, hoping that someone from G2 would maybe jump spot. And now it's Cloud9 actually throwing down 2 smokes deep mid, feigning that they could be walking up, making G2 consider that they could be far closer to them on the map than they actually are as they gather up for the A execute.
Yeah, Cloud9 just trying to obscure their movements and stretch the resources of G2 thin.
And now they've actually thrown the rifle over to Oxy. Vic has picked up that operator. They want to go for the A split here. They're going to have to deal with Leaf with this op. He wants to get his and teleport away, but just forced off by the flash. Can't get the value intended.
Oxy is very early getting into tower, though. I don't know how aware Jonah could be of this. And Oxy can get down their throats pretty fast, but instead opts to pull out back towards the middle part of the map and doesn't show himself either. Jorg checks it as he comes through with that dimensional drift, but he doesn't see Oxy yet. Rolling Thunder, Mitch trying to get away from that one. He's knocked right off into the distance, so there's Jorg. Mitch is dealt with. Sat in A main now, but again, the post-plant setup can be pretty oppressive for the attackers, unless they're all dead. It's just net to play from here, and Vic's been a non-factor in this round, Wyatt.
Unfortunately, that op has just been next to useless. What a shot from net, but the trade just as swift from Jajimo.
What do you do from here? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Save the gun and live to fight another day. Still enough to buy with for Cloud9. Very tough in the post-plant for him, though.
That kill from Jogaba out of the TP was crazy. That was so fast. Unfortunately for C9, all that planning around the operator fully went to waste. It was a passive angle from Oxy in mid, hoping that somebody would have tried to go for a jump peek at some point within the first 40 seconds or so of that round. It never came. And then
so
Vic,
clean.
as you mentioned, he just became a non-factor, a liability, holding the op, hoping he could cut off a rotate that never came. And that Rolling Thunder sealed the deal.
G2 now. The Hunter's Fury to work with. So still some Initiator ultimates to leverage. And of course, no surprise to see the Blade Storm popped. Oxy getting on into tower, but Jonah slaps him down. Yeah, he's definitely beaten, battered, bruised after that engagement, but it's an encounter that goes positively for G2. And that spike is not on A yet.
Ooh. Lovely kill from Zeppa as C9 tried to scale into this site, get even further with the drone. The Hunter's Fury ringing out from Trent.
Jonah low, Trent needs to be a little careful. And there's Valon catching
adjustment.
How? Okay. Still, Mitch has got a good spot here in tower to work with. Trent trying to dig him out with a shock will force him at least down to the site. That's the operator of Vic. Once again, he has it in his hands to play outside the site itself. And Mitch, again, he's in there. He's anchoring. And he has to be dug out here by G2. Fault line puts pressure on him, but he knows his angle's being held, or is it?
Yeah!
That's the pick-off on Vic that many couldn't respond, and now Net has the util here in the post-plant to try and disrupt. Oh, got pulled off of it, we're at half. Oh, he gets taken down as he tries to push in, and there will be enough time for G2.
Yeah, operator 1 HP da Jonah.
Well played on the retake from G2, and it's so unfortunate in these situations to watch one of the players from C9 have to just keep watching the flank with their crosshair. As G2 were spilling back into the site, Net was just looking behind the entire time. That is the drawback of the comp that they're running.
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to do. A rueful look on his face. I mean, Vic, yeah, was holding that line. That's rough. All right, Games Arena, how we're feeling. Timeout here for Cloud9. All right, let's talk. Which capsule do you go for? Oh, yeah, there it is. I like that G2 one. The red and gold.
It's classy.
Clean. Thoughts? Opinions? You can point, it's okay. You can tell us how you feel. Oh, okay. C9 fans? Okay, we have both. Yeah, okay. Get them both. That's also fine. Decision time. I like it. Hi. Which one do you like? Oh, we already went there. Okay. I'm messing with that. Yeah, that C9. They got the blue and the white in that capsule skin this year.
It's kind of cool. Year one.
Yeah, look,
भाई विक क्या खेल रहा है यार 1 HP था वहाँ पे जो
Yeah, that one was good.
पूरा गेम बदल दिया
Still, the 100 Thieves one, they got the blue on there. Just
at least स्टंट आया था तो स्टंट वाला को हेल्प कर देता था मैं तो पता नहीं क्या किया स्टंट वाला को हेल्प किया ना क्या किया
I'm proud of us. Let's go. Round 8. G2 with a 3-round lead.
Back on the first map, after Imi took a timeout, it was the second one, but that is when C9 started to string some rounds together, make a go at it, get back in the game just
तो गया लग रहा है गेम
Mitch has the null command coming into this Cosmic Divide for net as well too. Enormous tools to get into the site, win out a post plant.
Inching down mid here, G2. They're starting to take liberties.
Yeah, they want to take advantage of this lack of Sentinel.
And Vic, pretty cerebral player, Wyatt. Pretty hard to get the jump on. He's trying to make sure they don't catch the timing on him. Okay, here's the Cosmic Divide coming out pretty much straight away. Null Command also popped by Mitch, so very hard and fast hit over to the B side.
But here comes the battle on the flank. This is crucial. Can Net find the kill? No! Oh my god.
Now you're on the clock.
वो हमेशा उधर ही खेलता था वो उसने
TikTok. Now
हमेशा वो एंगल पे
there's
खेलता
a chance to get wrapped on here, so they got to go forward. But Jonah P is indomitable. Brick wall that stands in their way. That first divide's about to come down. There's a second up though. Valen laid his down as well. Zephyr's got a little rat spot in the corner, but Trent has the bait. And once again, it's Mitch alone on the site. He puts the groundwork in, but it's another round snatched away from him. And that's a big investment from Cloud9 ultimate-wise. You, again, commit the KO ultimate. You get the post plant, and then you get dragged out into the town square one by one.
G2 just abusing the players on the flank. That swing from Jogamo was so nice. It was really ready for that angle to be held by Net. Shut him down
नहीं हो रहा है वो ना उससे खेल पा रहा है ना उसका कोई और खेल पा रहा
More careful, more worried about the
वो तो स्लो ही पकड़ेगा क्योंकि
if Jogamo pushes down rope, followed up, get a second
Oxy
player
क्या सोच के
with
स्मोक
him
में
as well.
पिछोड़ा दिखाई गई है
Even if
भाई
he lost the duel.
That's a great point. I mean, the fact that G2 could commit 2 plays to that flank and still have their anchoring players over on B win out their individual duels. One of them with a headhunter.
Cloud9 have a relatively decent buy into this one while still retaining enough cash for the future. They want to go fast into A. Vic applying a lot of pressure through mid, through the Venice Oxy. Does that dash updraft to meet up with him?
Valen was able to get out there. He was definitely tempted to investigate the Omen TP by Vic. Kind of knew he was at risk. Trent confirms. Oxy sat on the corner, is going to force him to drop straight on down net. Didn't have a timing that he thought he did. Jorg is in his head. Vic, though, only the one as the shorty cuts his life short.
Zeppo is trying to fight with Oxy. Here comes the dimensional drift. Information from Jogamo going to be so crucial for the rest of the squad.
He didn't see Mitch go into security, though, Wyatt. He's in a flanking position, but it doesn't matter. Trent's already still somehow. It's another oppressive G2 round. Another post plant unraveled.
This team is looking utterly fantastic. They were a favorite coming into this year. Maybe some question marks here and there. I certainly had some after an offseason that was fairly tumultuous. It looked like there was certainly going to be an adjustment period needed with bringing in Jogamo, despite how excellent he is, obviously, on paper, figuring out how to use him in this roster, given how aggressive of a player he is, how fearless he is, compared to the slower-paced, controlled G2 team that they're known to be. But it seems like that adjustment period is already over. I think the offseason was just that.
They had to meet in the middle, Jogamo and this G2 team. They've become something else entirely.
They are looking sublime. Cloud9 have the full buy. They're trying to get some control towards A main with that early 0 point, giving information to Mitch to try and call around as the IGL.
Oh god, they're taking all this space again, this time on the B side of the map. Vic, most of the time, doesn't know where to be looking. That fault line.
was interesting.
Yep. Definitely one of the more quizzical ones. The gate crash going to be used before it expires by Jorgamo to pull him back onto B.
Cloud9 are hoping that they're going to be able to find an opening pick by exploiting someone on G2 over pushing towards that B side of the map, but it's not going to come. They're playing relatively safe at the moment, just stacked up together.
Look how far back Valen is here.
Wow, do they pop out mid together off a flash?
There's no way! Okay, Jorg. God, he sees it. Gate crashes out instantly. Still, that's a lot of information. They might cause C9 to call a cancel. Maybe just leave Oxy behind. He has to be the mole here, the one that undoes them from the inside.
Jogamo, at least temporarily, off that TP. He regrouped with Jonah, but is now rotating around. He's playing the float roll in spawn, can go to either site. Can Leaf find a pick here, though? That's tough. Forced away. Jonah in so much trouble. Pressure from Oxy in mid.
Buy some time, but Oxy won't be denied for long. He's expecting some action here. And he's about right. That's a clone that's going to round the corner. Trent opens things up. Oxy's healthy enough to not have to worry about shockies, but getting lit would be an issue. He has to cloudburst this. Backs away from the shocks. God, how do you win that? Jorg taken down, and here come Cloud9 onto the B side, hitting it hard. Leaf was the anchor player, and he will be dealt with. Still 3 players for G2 to apply to this situation. And Trent is 1 away from Hunter's Fury.
Oxy does a fantastic job getting his, but just causing so much disarray, delaying, letting the clock run down. G2, the time is expiring. Their hopes are expiring of actually getting it defused. There's still a molly in the hands of Mitch, and on tap, that's going to be thrown out.
Zeppa's got an ult too.
This round should be done.
I like this from Valen. Push up. Mitch doesn't expect it. You've got to get defusing pretty quickly though now, and Vic handles Valen. Now Trent could be a problem. No time. Here's the call. And Trent exits around with 3. Cloud9 find another round, but they are few, and they are far between.
It's similar to that first map. G2 go on a run. They get 5 in a row this time. It was 6 back on Lotus. And then Cloud9 begin to claw back. Just a little bit of hope on the side swap that if they can finally win a pistol round, maybe they could steal away G2's map pick.
Okay, Leaf has spent 9k credits this round, as you do. What does he come up with? Still guns for everybody on the G2 side. This will be the economy starting to get shaky.
Again, that early 0 point into A main. Doesn't catch anybody. And then Mitch will just walk forward with net, try to claim that space. The C9, watchful still for any kind of G2 aggression down mid. Wow, just Hunter's Fury seemingly out of nowhere. Off of a recon, perhaps?
They're going to push Leaf with this Alvarin. Oh my word! How do you see that coming? It's inhuman. The correction is ridiculous.
Vic has worked his way into vents, trying to be a presence, draw some attention as the split comes in. Zeppa gets 1 tag, can Vic do anything in heaven? Awkward, fighting against Jonah P.
Got a bit of damage on him there, but Jonah's been really hard to shift, and again he comes out on top. Now Ned had to play for the low ground. Rolling Dunn are going to be thrown at the side here by G2, and they are in. They capitalize instantly. Ned and Zeppa reeling, nowhere to go. And heaven and earth invert themselves for Mitch. Is the last casualty.
Leaf has just been a brick wall in mid. Every time he has pushed up, he's been able to find that first teleport away to safety. The AWP has been such a nuisance.
Dude, what?
Mental shot.
Vertical flicks, they're the nasty ones. Beautifully done. 8 rounds already for G2 on this defense side. It's a similar story to what we saw unfold on Lotus. Brooming with confidence is G2.
A tragic low buy for C9 to end this half. Leaf again going for the jump around this time. It does work. 3rd time's the charm.
A much closer angle to the wall there. They could not sniff him out. And that is brutal. Mitch has really been the one who has been the workhorse in some of these rounds.
Look at this awareness right now from Trent. He's posted up on the angle for Oxy. If he rounds the corner, this should be a free kill.
This is what I'm saying. Valen's calling structure, G2 in general, they shut down these breakout star players. They've taken Oxy's voice away.
They've even hit him with a fault line. Oh my god, he almost converted 2.
That's a lot of damage.
Matter of fact, that's the amount of HP Jonah has left from that engagement.
They're barely holding it together, but still it's an important piece off the board for Cloud9 as G2 put them in check for the half.
Off all that distraction made from Oxy, though, it's allowed the rest of his team to just contact forward. They want to take an aggressive fight off the paranoia.
Tour de force here for Leaf, not that it's necessary, but hey, round 12 and all.
C9 not able to find the value with that aggression as intended. They fall back to the spike. Now can find anything with the Sheriff.
Oh,
Can.
it's not good enough. It's not the weapon he needs in that situation. It's 3 for Leaf already, and it's up to Vic. All on his lonesome on that high ground.
कुछ नहीं हो रहा है भाई.
G2 convert a dominant, oppressive, masterful first half. It's 9-3.
It has been such a one-sided affair. G2 claiming all 3 pistol rounds up until this point. C9 have never had a real shot at getting in the game economically. They've not been able to string rounds together.
Sorry, come again? I'm not familiar with that dialect, Jorg. Devastating. Well, folks, I'll be honest with you, the Riot Arena is bumping today, and we've got Golden Boy down on the floor with some super fans.
That's right, Uber. We got Josh and Jacob here. Big C9 and G2 fans. Guys, give it up. Give it up. Show some love. Show some love. All right, so Josh, first for you, my friend. C9, right, have a big matchup against NRG, wins that one. You see the players shine. Who is your favorite player on Cloud9 right now?
Right now, I probably have to say Zeppa. He absolutely fragged out in the NRG match. We were actually here the other day watching it, and it was so awesome, dude. The energy was insane. Just getting to watch it was awesome.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Now, for you, how do you feel about this G2 lineup, Jacob, that looks like world beaters right now?
Oh, we are world beaters, man. I'm out here, I'm watching them play, and I already feel we're winning champs. I already know it, man. I already know it, bro. We're winning champs. They're gonna go play League later. We're winning worlds.
That's what's up. Now, guys, is this your first time at the Riot Games Arena here? What do you think of it?
It's not my first time. We came a lot last split, or last season. We're coming a lot this season. Super excited, love the vibe here, love being able to come watch and support our teams.
Hell yeah, what about you, Jacob?
I've been coming since the seasons have started. First season started, love it. It's beautiful. The games are amazing. I love Valorant. I love this game.
Hell yeah. Guys, what do you think of the Riot Games Arena? You having a good time? Ay, Dios mío, almost died. All right, guys, well, look, I'm going to let Jacob and Josh get back to their game, but why don't you guys go ahead and help me out and throw out some plushies to the people. And guys, are you ready? Are you ready for map 2? Ready for the next half, rather? Let's do this.
I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with you, Wyatt. It's giving Go Valorant big time out there on the floor today.
Yeah, listen, I love Valorant too. I'm with him. I agree.
उधर बैठ के देख रहे यहाँ पीछे क्या हो रहा है भाई?
Spirits are high in this room because I tell you what, Cloud9, that tension that Imi referenced, I don't know if that's dissipated yet.
I'm not sure we could say the same. I don't think the high spirits are emanating from the left side of the stage at the moment. Imi is praying that begins to happen when maybe they get their first pistol round win.
Leaf already.
Zeppa भाग गया.
Just a decent number of headhunter shots.
ये इतना फास्ट है कि वो भाग गया भाई.
14 and 6.
ये तो attackers defense में खेल रहे जैसे हो गया.
Absolutely dismantling his former team, though.
ये solo बिना util का इतना फास्ट है कि वो लोग भाग गए.
On aside from Zeppa, who by the way has been playing with this Cloud9 team for 1,298 days. One of the longest standing players with an org in the game at the moment.
And Mitch, who's only ever been on 2 teams. Oxygen and Cloud9, his whole career.
And then after Oxygen, Cloud9 again. Valen on the retreat. It's Cloud9 aggressive in mid, and that finds the first onto Trent.
Sorry, Trent, you are not Arsena today. Valen tries to go for a cheeky little wrap there, but is spotted out. That said, post-plant set up for G2 back in security. Jorgamo is set up, but he will have his hands full.
Hands full, but he has to be the hero. Jorgamo needs to find at least one and then threaten that backstab.
Okay, Headhunter secures one. Leaf flash forced away, now the Nebula in his face. Jonah might step onto the site here and look for a little pinch of magic. He saw Roxy. They're going, he can calm this. He can calm this to Leaf. He knows he's going to be overwhelmed, but he can't do anything about it still. Jonah has snuck in behind this space. It's been opened up though, and it's one. Just one.
ये लोग side clear नहीं करके.
Oxy able to claim the last 2 kills, and it's close. Zeppa gets that diffuse. It was looking very scary with Cloud9 paying no mind to their flank. All emphasis on routing Leaf out of main. They were able to get that kill and convert the final to good trading at the end.
Valen there, though, was trying to wrap on them. They were absolutely ready for that.
Let's go,
It
baby.
Let's go. Must win round. Oxy catapults himself to the top of C9's
पर ये लोग साइड क्लियर नहीं करके ये लोग कैसे लग गया था
frankly, but
हार जाना था अगर वो लोग गेम
getting
चल
in
जाता
position to have a big impact on the half.
It must feel oh so sweet to finally get a pistol round. Actually be in the driver's seat economically in this game.
Who's pushed up in this smoke? It's Net. With the judge. Was hoping that G2 would challenge here, but Jonah P, after copying some early damage here, is going to pull back with the Marshall. And we're done with A for now.
Watchful eye on mid with that Marshall. Stoked weapons so strong, or Outlaw rather.
जोना भी फिर 61 कैसे हो गया कौन
So
कहा
strong
था
on this map.
Okay, look at the group up here. 2 C9 players over on that B side. They're going to have some advance warning. And they can have an Astra Star triggered to buy some time as well. It's going to be Mitch and Vic. Two of the most recent pickups for this squad. And joining them is Oxy from that high ground with that Outlaw, something that's lethal to G2. One-shots across the board. Mitchie with a fault line here. Valen and Trent want to try and push up, take liberties. Vic's timing not quite there. He doesn't see the player push coaster. Now he's overwhelmed at close range, but Oxy chimes in for 2. From that high ground now to the Sheriff. Interrupts the plan. Oxy! He's looking for it! Oh, and it slips away! The utter disrespect!
Yes.
But he's still credited with
Oxy is back guys, Oxy is back, let's go.
What a way to get it.
Of course, Cyber Power giving away a PC for the first ace of the week, and then after that, $100 Riot gift card, $100 in Cyber Power rewards after for each ace after that. Now that's a way to get some wind in your sails.
That's a nice, funny way to get the morale up. Oxy finally turning up for this squad, man.
Yeah, bro thought he wouldn't give credit with that jump off. Come on, bro. Hey.
That's the first primal Oxy moment of the season, I feel.
That's right. We had him hitting all levels of Super Saiyan last year, but very quickly, G2 looking to keep a lid on the energy for Cloud9. Okay, Oxy pulls that one out of a hat.
And he might just be entering the flow state, that intuitive spam.
That's called Ultra Instinct, thank you.
3v4 कैसे हो गया
Right, I'm older than you, man. Come on.
Not really my thing.
By a lot. Really? Cringe. Blade Storm here for Oxy. Leaf has pushed up well on coast, but G2 not fully committed to this yet. Rifle round for them, of course, a chance to take the game back into their own hands. And but be careful, Oxy's waiting. Bolt line dodge, the same one as we saw last round. It's Mitch again. Crucial frag. And he's been about as invisible with all his action over at B.
You can see that they're trying to get the confidence flowing. They're trying to fight together, and they are fighting together, but the duel's just not going their way. This G2 team, all aspects of the game right now, firing on all cylinders.
Just as C9 get the head above water, just as they get one of those classic morale-boosting prescribed Oxy aces.
Gun here.
They've got to dig deep once more. Again, money's still fine. They got 2 guns away from G2, so there are bright spots here. Vic's also been able to recover a rifle. Not too shabby at all, but yeah, Leaf has been impressive. Both maps today. Once that tour de force gets going, he's definitely going to be a problem picking C9 apart. So G2 get themselves to 10 rounds here. Cloud9 know the mission is still the same. Set Oxy up for success.
It's time for their full buy. Must-win round. A loss here would just sting so much for the team that bested NRG, a lot of people's favorites. If not, you kind of had to put them in the top 2. Coming into this tournament out of the off-season, how well they performed. Huge upset win. And to just go right back down to the lower bracket, the exact same spot where NRG are, would just feel so bad for them. That hard work up in smoke.
Oxy, our ace leader in his second season of the VCT. That is pretty nuts. 5 to his name. And that gate crash now starts to saunter down mid. That'll be Jorgamo maybe using that to get behind enemy lines. Yep, instantly TPs to it. He's in there, but there's nothing to grease him.
This is dangerous for C9. They have to be so aware of the presence in mid. It's going to draw eyes away from the players who may normally be anchoring a site.
He couldn't get out. He got suppressed by the 0 point and couldn't gate crash away. He's stranded.
Just mistimed that. Net's still on the angle. Decoy goes out.
Mixed up presence there.
Having some issues with the utilities round is our boy. That's fine, because he can shoot good normally.
I've seen better Jorgamo rounds.
They take the good with the bad, Wyatt.
All right, there's Oxy toppled from the top of the boxes, but Net finds a second. Balls back off it. Now buy some time. No great post-plant position set up here for D2 yet, but 3 grouped here towards Coast.
पोल क्यों नहीं आया 3 है बोल के मैंने 3 देख लिया था तो
be available. That could easily even up this 3 versus 4.
अच्छा चैम्बर को नहीं मिला होगा लोग इसलिए चैम्बर का लग देख रहा है
Backstab pressure though is it's real. Jonah very mindful.
दो इधर ही डिटेक्ट हो गया एक खेल रहा अल्टा किल रे
गांड could be devastating. It's hit a couple but
ओह नेट
Say it ain't so.
बहुत बढ़िया
Zappa with the steal. Sickening stuff.
नेट अच्छा खेला रे
Of our gift card, Mitch. We've been robbed.
Not 1 but 2 gift cards. Let's get that straight.
Cloud9. Tell you, when it rains, it pours for this team. And hey, that's an
नेट का एस था ना
swing round in terms of economy. They win it out.
शायद
G2 relegated onto a bit of an awkward one now.
Net has been a problem today. I'm very impressed. Despite Cloud9's woes as a team against this strong G2 squad, Net has stood out as far as how high impact the kills that he's found have been. And it is lovely to see him at this level after losing his spot with G2 in Americas, struggling at the beginning of his foray in Challengers, playing with M80, but then ending the year being a standout player on that team. I was so impressed with how he turned things around. You could see him finding his confidence again. And that is carried over into Americas. He's looking so nice.
Pivotal here for C9 on this map. Basically, as soon as the first round began, he had that very early Cosmic Divide to set up the gun round for Cloud9. And again, when he's been needed, he stepped up. We've got a Guardian and a Rifle here still for Leaf to work with. Also a Cosmic Divide for G2 to try and set this up. Here is the Divide.
That's quite far away, trying to rotate quickly. This is going to be tough for C9 to get through.
All right, let's cut the map up. We have bisected it twice, and there's Oxy. That is at that range. Not sure how it happened. Shock dart straight through the wall. Looking for some damage there is Zeppa. And Oxy's already on the defuse. Bowled over by Leaf, but from up on high, it's the RKO from Zeppa. Beautiful. Jonah Pedo, a problem. Nobody's looking at Jonah except Ness. And that's all Cloud9 needed. They have slowly but surely climbed back into this map.
That shot to Jorgamo, the initial one was so sick. Trying to push through the Cosmic Divide. Net was so far away, but ended up being there right on time. Jonah not expecting to get back.
Great reaction.
Hello.
Oh, मारा क्यों नहीं रे?
Zeppa, very disruptive. That's a double Cosmic Divide post-plant situation.
Awkward. G2 now on the full buy. Leaf with a stinger, but has the tour de force. That's going to be popped. Insta, of course, it's aggression from C9. Fault line. Difficult for Oxy to wade through.
Jonah just piles them down with that one, but they're not done. Still pushing up, and Oxy's Crane 2. What a frenetic opener to this round. Oh my God, he's right. Bam! Oxy gets out. Somehow Trent is alive.
There we go.
You know, win those, it's fine. Jorg with the trade, but in a 1 versus 3. That was not a clone, folks. That's just your boy.
Well played, Oxy, well played.
Beginning to really feel the energy in the room now for Cloud9. It's been tough to have it before, but they are on a run, stringing 3 in a row. Finally in the driver's seat in a game, it feels like. Of course, they are still on the comeback right now. But the rounds they've been playing have been fantastic. I love this mix of pace, throwing in a round of pure aggression.
Great setup for Mitch there. That flash.
Into that Hunter's Fury.
Hits him real hard. On Oxy there as well, is just to capitalize, of course, on the utter disarray that's caused. Now we've got ourselves a game, folks. G2 again. Awkward half buy. Leaf with a rifle. There is a dimensional drift for Jorgamo.
That is all Cloud9 setting up their star, Oxy. He capitalizes. This is the best map he's had so far in 2025. Single forced away. At least still living.
This round, though, the winds don't blow in his favor. Not early anyway. Trent's looking to inch up here. Nothing really but a sheriff to his name. No one tapping that orb quite yet. A minute in the round already.
Tap करो ना tap करो लोगों को पता ही है कि आगे आएगा.
We'll be on the setup.
That is a risky position for a very low HP. Ooh, Ned, he's caught in the grab well with the shock.
What a combo. Normally it's like a seized nade. Look, that's probably harder to put together. Great grab well timing.
Lovely util.
Free kill on this sort of anti-eco. You've got to feel good.
Rifle can't be recovered though. It's too far away for the G2 team who are gathered up in main. Here comes the dimensional drift from Jaw. Wants to spot the players out. Gets the info on all four, matter of fact.
He's seen them. But what can they do about it? Here's Oxy with a tap. Rolling Thunder comes in. Do G2 step onto the site? Well, Jorg does. Makes a quick exit though as Valor now goes brrr, trying to spray down. Enters that Omen smoke. The right clicks don't quite get him there. Oxy's down to half, but still more work needs to be done. Fault line is good. Spray even better. And Trent finishes the job. It's a half buy for G2.
Leaf को क्या बोलेगा भाई?
We're getting their sea legs again.
A half buy for G2 where the lack of weaponry was made up for with superb utility. The combo to find that first kill.
Util पूरा util use कर रहा है भाई. भाई क्या?
As he's pinged up, nightmare situation.
Great finish there for Trent.
Rolling Thunder was used at the best time from Jonah off the info from the dimensional drift. G2 making the most of a bad economic situation. C9 though, economically, still pretty good. They've got the operator in the hands of Oxy. A tough round loss, but they're not out of this by any means just yet.
That's disruptive though. The economy's in a weird place, not terrible. Like you said, not in the hands of their jet player.
वो मिड खेल रहा था तो अभी
Last time we saw Trent with the Hunter's Fury.
अभी वो मिड छोड़ दिया तो लूज
threw
मिड
it
आ
out
रहा
early in the
है
round. This time though, a bit more judicious about its deployment.
G2 intend on working up mid, splitting into B. So much pressure on that. Can he get his damaged up on the run and caught by Jaw?
Somehow again, G2 zero in on Net's position and kind of bowled him over with numbers at the start of a round.
ये तो डिफेंस अटैक हो गया.
Between a rock and a hard place. And again, still able to extract the kill. It's so big. They need more than that. Nicely done by Vic. Already down to 5. And this plan is one that Oxy can't really intervene in Wyatt. There is Zephyr up mid though.
Zeppa's going to have an engagement against Trent here. Will he be ready? This kill could certainly determine how this round plays out. Finding that advantage.
Both are healthy. Both are armed. Oxy inside this smoke. There's no way he gets away with it. Kid Wonder doesn't make it happen. And Zeppa here now really doesn't have many options left. This is G2 going to series points. And they clean him up.
That shot from Jogamo, able to hit the headshot, no less, onto Oxy, updrafting out of that nebula. So unfortunate. Cloud9, they've been rallying. The G2 team that we're looking at is just of such a high echelon.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, look, a little bit of a hiccup here, right? Cloud9 able to put sort of 5 out of 6 rounds together after winning the pistol. Get themselves into a decent spot in this game, but slowly G2 starting to decode them. And that's a couple of rounds where, like, Ned is holding a passive line. He just takes a bunch of damage, and then G2 say, go. Push into him.
G2 really exploiting mid there where, you know, maybe with a different composition or against a different comp, they wouldn't be able to do so in the exact same way. They may have to deal with, you know, a tripwire in a location like that, something along those lines. But it's being hard held by Net. He has to be posted up on the angle, which, yes, sometimes that can result in the player holding that angle getting a kill, but it's dangerous too when he's just being swung on by the horde of G2 who intend on splitting that site.
And now on the precipice of taking this series away, advancing, of course, through our kickoff bracket. And handing an L to a Cloud9 who really impressed us against NRG. Scrappy, hard-fought game for them to win. Still split in this series. If Cloud9 can find a way to subvert fate, come out of this map alive, it's a big ask.
And it's such a bitter pill to swallow for C9 if they lose this match and are sent to the first round of the lower bracket with everyone else after besting one of the teams that we had the highest expectations for. C9 being one of the teams we had low expectations for.
And Oxy's finally come online, Wyatt. It's taken 2/3 of the series, but he's here now. It might just be too late.
Posted up on mid, watching for anyone who may want to go through the dark cover. This time it's a fake gate crash from Jogamo.
They know it. I can see the splat on the ground here. A lot committed to mid by Cloud9 this round.
And the Cosmic Divide
It's
is
a
a
fake.
pure sell. There's a gate crash in spawn. Jogamo's going to make noise. He's going to leave.
It's on net again. It's up to this guy again against his old team.
With the judge in the nebula.
I've seen how this one ends.
G2 are biding their time. Are they really going to wait this smoke out?
Can
Let
they
it dissipate.
They wait it out. Oh, no!
The patience, the
nebula comes down and so does the curtain on Net's round. Devastating for Cloud9. Zephyr though pays it no mind. He gets himself into the side, but Jonah P sends him careening off the map.
So many teams there would have just gone into the site, tried to play off the cell with speed, pace. Not G2. They take their time. They punish Net for it. They don't make mistakes like that.
And now you just ease into a post-plant situation. Slowly the Anaconda
इतना कुछ
strangles.
है, क्या होगा
First, it's the aftershock.
अल्टी है नेट
Forces him off the plant. Then more spray. This time, a gravity well. Another tickle, another
क्या हुआ
attempt.
इतना कुछ है
Fury to end the
इतना ज्यादा यूटिल है क्या होगा
flawless round to cap off a 13-8 map for G2. They're looking to deliver on that off-season promise.
What can you say aside from G2 as advertised? We expect greatness from a team that was already at the top of the international scene, already a playoff contending team at Champions, at Shanghai, and now they've inserted a world champ into their roster to take them over the top. Jogamo had a great performance today, but Leaf was the standout, dropping something like 44 kills in the 2 maps, plus 20 or so on the KD. Outrageous stuff from the Sentinel.
And it just doesn't matter what role he's on. He seems to highlight every match he plays in. And here we've seen the experiment, adding the very vibrant, very unpredictable Jogamo to the very stable mix of G2 has created a chemical reaction that hits just right. This is only their first step here in kickoff, but a very good sign for the team that considered bowing out of champs in 7th and 8th place pretty unacceptable.
Certainly, and Cloud9 sadly down to the lower bracket after that phenomenal win against NRG. I mean, talk about a tough run, man. They start with NRG, then they have to go up against G2 next.
parang ngay
Difficult bracket, probably or like most difficult segment of the bracket that you could probably be in at the moment.
And it doesn't get any easier, considering who awaits them in this lower bracket. Some quality teams not able to quite get off the ground yet, but there's some bright spots for them. Net looks really good. Acclimated into this roster. He's put in pretty pivotal positions, sometimes having to play in an under-resourced fashion. He's able to take some of these rounds over. Oxy came alive. We've got the vintage look from him last year out. Vct Americas ace leader adds another one to the tally today. There are signs of life. There are definitely things to be hopeful about. Eventually they run into the raid boss and get knocked down a peg.
And who knows if Cloud9 didn't have such a cold start on both maps, losing the pistols, and from there, not even able to really damage on their ego. On another day, if they even just go 50% on the pistols, hey, maybe we're looking at a different game. They tried to hold their nerve best they could, but ultimately, this G2 squad, they're way too damn good.
Yeah, just a cut above there, and it's a caliber of play that is pretty hard to argue with. And now we can't wait to see what they bring us next in these upper bracket rounds, because we've got finally to see all of our teams. We've got to answer the questions about how our rosters have shaped up coming out of the off-season. Teams like Lev, teams like G2, for example. And I'm glad to have answers for it. But we have questions, further questions. That's right, it's Riv down on the stage for the Verizon post-match interview with the one they call Leaf.
I am indeed here with one single Leaf as G2 takes down Cloud9. Dang. dang, what a game that was. I mean, you're no stranger to winning. The team looks so clean right now, but does it kind of feel different winning with these guys? It looks so fluid.
It's a lot of fun. Like, we're all pretty brain dead. We all have our same kind of sense of humor.
All right.
So when we win these rounds in like the funniest ways, like, or just like good teamwork, we're all just hype. We're all having fun. So, I mean, nothing's really changed from last year. You know, we just added in Giacomo, who's obviously like world class, but in terms of culture, we're still the same.
Why do you think it's kind of a benefit to all be a little brain dead in those situations?
I mean, it just makes the game more fun.
Okay.
Like, at the end of the day, if you're just stressed every single day that you show up for practice and every single match, you're just like, I hate playing with these guys. Like, you're just gonna not have the best results. Like, it's just how it works.
Easy enough said. All right, looking at how much fun you were having, though, I think it was like August of 2022.
ये दोनों कैसे साथ में देख पाएगा भाई? ये लोग कैसे टाइमिंग में सेट कर दिया इसको?
What's it like being
Paper X versus T1 8 घंटा 43 मिनट में.
You look like you're having a good time.
और
you know, we were playing it in scrims, and I'm just getting owned because I'm on 40 ping, and it's just way different on LAN. And then Josh is always just like, you know,
और EDJ versus T 9 घंटा 43 मिनट.
So it's just very, very nice, like, to just have an insta TP, just snap. Not used to it on Sentinel role, but yeah, I think I was always very comfortable on the agent even back then. So it's just kind of getting back into it.
Took the ping weights off. You were crushing. My next question is kind of for the team. People sometimes get concerned when you see so many big names on a team. Who gets the priority voice? What happens here? Who just overall gets the util? How's that working for G2? Because it does not seem like a problem with all these stars on one
Leaf.
I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to win. Nobody really cares about stats. Like, if you lose and you have good stats, who cares? If you win and have good stats, it's just a plus. But at the end of the day, like, I think we're one of the most like drilled, disciplined teams. So like, we don't really care. Like, we just do whatever it takes to win.
सिर्फ डिफॉल्ट खेल के जीता है भाई. कोई बड़ा ये नहीं किया. सिर्फ 2 बार ये लोग का मतलब दिमाग अच्छा चला था. 20 है ये मिड फाइट लेके बी चला गया. एक वो था. दूसरा था मिड पे योरू को छोड़ के वहाँ पे फाइट लेके भी चला गया. ये 2 ही था बस. बाकी सब तो डिफॉल्ट ही था. पकड़ सकता था आराम से. चल कोई नहीं. चलो अभी दिन को आता है. ओके बाय बाय.